All right, so beginning our yoga class this morning, go ahead and lay down all the way flat onto your mat. We are going to begin in savasana. So taking ourselves to the floor. Sometimes it takes a little bit of wiggling, a little bit of fidgeting, a little bit of readjusting to get ourselves just right. That's okay. Get all of those fidgets out now as we're trying to get comfortable on the mat. Happy with the volume, happy with the camera angle. And then just go ahead and close your eyes and relax. As we lay here, hopefully we've been able to find a position that's pretty comfortable. Noticing both of our shoulders just resting in the ground, our hips, our legs. And I want you just to pay attention to your breathing. Let your belly rise up to the ceiling as we bring in a whole bunch of air through our nose. And then as we breathe out, just feel every muscle relax. When we do this breathing exercise, what we're actually doing is calming down our nervous system, slowing our heart rate. And this allows us to feel more relaxed and clears our brain so that we can remain a little bit better focused on what we're doing. With our next breath in, I'll encourage everyone to reach the arms up over our head, stretching through those shoulders, nice big reach. Notice anything in the back, the ribs, the shoulders, and then releasing those arms. Go ahead and gather the knees into the chest. And as we hold the legs in towards the body, feel free to rock right to left. If you were anything like me this week and you were stuck sitting at a desk many, many hours every day, your hips probably feel pretty tight. So what we're doing right now is just squeezing, talking, sending blood flow to those hips. And if we're feeling like they're maybe more tight than usual today, just knowing that what you're doing during the week definitely will catch up to us. And that's why we're here today. That's why we're doing our yoga, just learning, listening to our body, trying to help ourselves feel a little bit better. Now, as we continue to hold those knees into the chest, stopping our rocking, let's roll our ankles, encouraging blood flow in through the feet, down into those toes, getting any cricks and cracks out. And we will spend some extra time here working through those single leg stretches, keeping a hold of the right knee, lower that left leg down to the ground, pull the right knee gently open and out towards that right shoulder. If we're able to press the left leg down into the mat, we may feel a stretch through that left hip flexor as we start to stretch it out, or maybe it's all through that inside of right hip. We'll cross the knee over towards the left shoulder now, targeting a little bit better in through the right hip, the outside of the leg. And some days we feel this more than others, just noticing what you're feeling today. We'll bring that knee in. And exhale, release. Bring the left leg in when you're ready. Take your time as you open that knee out towards the left shoulder. pressing that right leg down into the ground. And then we can bring the knee over towards the right. And again, just noticing any pinching, any tightness, any stretching. And we can release that leg through the middle and down to the floor. Bringing the feet onto the ground. We'll do a few glute bridges. What I love about the glute bridges, although it activates the hips, it's also stretching through those hip flexors and making sure that we're getting the stomach, the torso, the back, everything working together. Just roll the shoulders into the mat. Make sure you're resting on the flat part of your head, nose points straight up to the ceiling. With your inhale, we lift our hips up, press down through your feet, and exhale, slowly lower, controlling every movement. Inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, we want to keep our knees, hips width distance apart. So imagine you're holding like a ball in between those knees. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, down. And we'll do this just one more time. Inhale, lift, flat hands, flat feet. And exhale, lower. Slowly working our way through baby pose on our side, up and over into tabletop position. Just a couple of things in tabletop. First, when we come to all fours, let's spread the fingers, taking hands right beneath those shoulders. Knees or hips width distance apart again, and try to relax those feet in the back. Finding our spinal balance, extending our right arm forward, thumb raised to the ceiling, and then press that left foot back, flex your foot. Lower that down. Inhale, left arm, right leg back. Exhale, down, aware of your abdominal muscles. Inhale, right. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left. Exhale, down. We'll do one more each side. Good focus, everybody. Inhale, right. Exhale. And inhale, left. Exhale. From here, taking our cows and cats, we first open the chest, looking forward with an inhale. And exhale, tuck the tailbone, pull the bellies in, round the back and shoulders. Inhale, open, nice and slow. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. And one more of each. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Holding tabletop, let's take our right arm all the way up. Big inhale, open. Exhale, thread underneath that left, laying into our right side. So I'm on my right ear, my right shoulder, and I'll bring my left hand overhead. Taking a couple big breaths here, stretching that out. Coming up, and we'll replace that now as we take our left arm, big inhale, stretch open. And exhale, reach underneath the body, laying right into that left ear and shoulder if you can. You can take that right arm overhead. Notice anything we're feeling. Keep your breathing nice and slow. Slowly coming up. And then press back into child's pose. First, child's pose, so take it easy as we sit our hips nice and low as they'll go today, comfortable through the knees and the feet, extending those arms and resting the forehead. While we're here, we'll continue to work those shoulders and sides open, walking our hands over to the right edge of the mat. You can take your left hand on top of right hand as we sit back a little bit deeper into the left hip, pulling past that left shoulder. Walking the hands through the middle. Right hand comes on top. And then we pull past that right shoulder. Noticing how that feels as we breathe into our right side. Coming through the middle. And now let's slowly come up through tabletop, preparing for down dog. Now with down dog, let's curl the toes, lift the hips up. And if anyone's opting out of down dog today, just staying in child's pose. If we're in down dog, really push away from those hands. Look back at our feet. Maybe we pedal through the feet, walking the dog, working through the arches, the toes, and then really thinking of those calf muscles as we press one heel down at a time. Now all together, we're going to hold down dog, so getting our feet in position. Knees can be soft. Let's look back at our feet still, checking out how close your heels are to the floor. Are they touching, or is there a little bit of space? And then let's get ready for our flow series. We inhale forward into plank. We can take the knees to the ground as we exhale chaturanga, that slow lower. Inhale, scoop up for cobra. Maybe small to start, and then press back, down dog or child's pose. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhaling forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, lift up to cobra, long necks. Exhale, pressing back, down dog. Last time. Inhale, forward. Exhale, chaturanga, elbows brushing ribs. Slow movement. Inhale, lift up for cobra, shoulders down. And exhale, press back. Looks good, everybody. From down dog or child's pose, I'm going to ask us to walk our hands and feet together. And we'll come halfway up to monkey. Pull those shoulder blades in. Belly buttons up, back nice and flat. Slowly bending those knees. Inhale, sweep the hands tall, up to prayer. And exhale, release. All right. From here, if anyone wanted to grab a drink, this would be a great time to do that. We're going to meet at the top of our mat, preparing for mountain pose. So go grab a drink if you'd like one. And then when you're ready to join me, we're going to stand in mountain pose. Feet hips width distance apart, roll the shoulders, and just standing really nice and tall. You can even close your eyes as we take a couple deep breaths. And just like the name says, we are standing tall as a mountain, strong through our feet, sturdy, breathing easy, getting ready for warrior one. Keeping our right foot at the top of the mat, let's bring that left foot back behind us. Lining your feet up with your hips and shoulders so that they're all running as wide. Press the feet flat into the floor as we bend forward into that right knee. And then let's lift those arms nice and tall above the head, choosing if you'd prefer heart center. And then if you're able to, really draw those shoulders down, squeeze your abs, maybe even close your eyes. Perhaps we're feeling this as we stretch that left calf muscle out, pressing that heel into the ground. Some of us may be feeling some fidgeting. Just notice how that feels today for you. We'll open up into warrior two, turning to the side of our mat. Maybe walk your feet a little bit farther. Now bending forward into that right knee. Arms are straight. I'm just gonna turn to the side so everyone can see what I did there. Warrior one, opening to warrior two. Now as we hold this, let's really try to bend forward into this right knee, not allowing any internal collapse, keeping that foot flat, knee on top of ankle. From here, we're coming into reverse warrior. Strong through those legs. Lift that right hand up to the ceiling. Keep bending into the right knee. That left hand is so light against your leg, or I like to actually just rest it in my back pocket. Opening up that whole right side. One more big inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Then come down into side angle. Bend your right elbow, resting it on the thigh. Lift that left arm high up to the ceiling, or again, back pocket is fine. I want your collar open. Know where that hand is. And then this bottom right elbow, see if we can bend the right knee a little bit more, holding a plate. You're serving something precious, whatever that might be. I think for me today, it's going to be a plate of cubed watermelon. Sounds delicious. So cubed watermelon on my plate. Don't spill any of the juices. Holding that strong. Taking now our inhale, open up to warrior two, and then straighten those legs out. We have one more pose in this warrior triangle. Hitch this back left hip. See, I'm just lifting it up a little bit, and then reach forward towards that right foot, and then we can come down. Sometimes I can come down to the floor, other days I'm a lot higher. There's nowhere you need to be. You can just rest your hand against your shin, your calf, and if this isn't working today, feel free to go back into side angle. I want us to hold our triangle pose strong through those left sides, stretching into that right hip. Big inhale, lift up now. Exhale, spiral all the way down into a lunge. Kick back into plank, and then press back into down dog or child's pose. Working on your transitions as best as we can be coordinated and smooth. And then you can stay in down dog or child's pose, or you can join me and flow 2 times. Inhaling forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, lift up. Exhale, press back into down dog or child. One more time if you're flowing. Inhaling forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, press back. Now all together, let's walk our hands and feet up to the top. Coming halfway up to monkey. Taking that moment, this moment of pause, if you will, just to reflect on your posture, how this feels. Then we'll soften those knees. Big inhale, sweep up to prayer. And exhale, release. Very nice. Anything we need to fidget as we step back to the top of our mat, finding our mountain pose. Shoulders down, so tall. Sometimes it seems silly. It's like, I'm just standing here, whatever, let's get on with it. Instead, let's really focus on our posture. When else do we focus so much on it? From here, leave your left foot at the top. Press that right foot back into warrior one. It's not too narrow, it's not too long. Holding that warrior one position so the feet can be flat. And then lift those arms up nice and tall, heart center if you'd prefer. Really bringing those bellies in, shoulders down. And I love closing my eyes in this pose. Fairly basic in terms of balance. Some days though, we're just off. So if today's not a day where we're enjoying closing our eyes, keep them open. Find something that we can look at that will capture our focus. And remember that slow 2-part breath. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. And when you're ready, we'll turn to warrior two. Face the side of your mat. I like to get my feet just a little bit farther apart and then pushing away from that back right edge, bend forward into my left knee. Again, I'll turn to the side for anyone wanting to see that transition again. So warrior one, open to warrior two. Good. Shoulders down, bellies in, that knee open. Let's get ready for reverse warrior. Bringing that left palm high to the sky, bend forward into that left knee, really open up the side, stretching past the shoulder. And always making sure whenever we raise the arm above the head, we're not shrugging the shoulder and gluing it to our ear. Lots of space between ear and shoulder. Inhale, opening up warrior two. And exhaling down, side angle. Left elbow onto that knee. Right arm high to the sky if we're able to. Bend a little bit deeper into the left leg. And then check your plate. Are you spilling the watermelon juices off of the plate? If you were to offer me one, would you spill it or could you hold on to it? Nicely done, everybody. Couple more big breaths here. Working on those hips. And now taking an inhale, coming up to warrior two, straightening out the legs. Let's hitch that back hip, preparing for triangle. Reach forward with that left hand, bring it down towards the leg, and then that right arm can come all the way up. This is a very strong pose. Again, we don't want to be leaning. We're not sinking, we're holding this wonderful triangle, stretching a little bit deeper into that left inner thigh. Really have to use those right oblique muscles. Good, now take a big inhale, lifting all the way back up to warrior two. And exhale, spiral, finding ourselves through lunge, sweeping back to plank, and we can come back into down dog or child's pose. From here, you can stay in your stretch, or you can join me in our flow 2 times through. Inhaling forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, open up to cobra. Exhale, push back, down dog or child's pose. Once more, inhaling forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, push back, down dog or child. Slowly walking hands and feet together. Coming up halfway to monkey. Nice flat back. Now softening the knees, inhale, reverse. And exhale, release. All right, a couple shoulder rolls if you need it. We're coming into pyramid. Right foot forward, left foot back into a short stance, warrior one. And that just means that your feet aren't too far apart. We'll straighten that out, hands on your hips, and hinge forward. Try to keep your back level, nice and flat with your hips and shoulders. And then as soon as you feel a stretch, we just stop. Resting our hands on the thigh, the shin, the foot. And again, I'll just turn to the side. The more we are able to keep our backs flat, the better every stretch is. So just remember that. Sometimes we try to reach so far and it's just out of our reach. We end up sacrificing our posture, which actually steals some of the effectiveness of that stretch. Now, if you'd like to hold pyramid, stay here. Otherwise, if you'd like to do some balancing, you can work with me as we walk our hands forward, picking that left foot up off the ground into a tripod. We want to keep that right leg running up and down, perpendicular to the floor. And then that back left leg that's about parallel to the ground. You can stay in tripod, or you can take your left hand up to the ceiling as we open up the right shoulder and then flip that right hip so that your left leg is now running sideways. Really stretching through that right groin area, up that inside of right thigh. This is your balanced half moon if you chose to open it. One more inhale, and then exhale slowly. You can walk your foot down, either coming back into pyramid or take both feet together and we'll roll yourself all the way up. So whether you walked up from pyramid or rolled up from feet together, we're now going to do that on the other side. So you take your left foot forward, right leg back into short stance, warrior one. Slowly straighten out your legs and hinge forward. And just walk yourself down. As soon as you feel a stretch, we'll just stop it there. Targeting the leg that's forward, right behind the knee. Noticing anything up the calf, stretching behind the knee or up through the hamstring. Nice slow breaths as we continue to hold that pyramid. And again, you can choose to stay in pyramid if you'd like to just keep holding it. Otherwise, working our way through our balance, we'll walk our hands forward into that tripod. So what's important here is that your left leg is running straight up and down. So holding this position first, and then if you'd like to try balanced half moon, we open up the right hip and that right arm comes towards the ceiling. Couple slow breaths. We can take one more inhale and exhale either down through pyramid or feet come flat together. And now we all roll up together. So well done, everybody. Let's walk our feet out wider. So if your mat is running straight, you'll just step your feet outside of your mat. If you turn to the side of your mat, you have a little bit more space like what I've done. We're going to come into our standing straddle split forward fold. Big inhale, lift the hands up. And now exhale, reach forward, reach forward, reach forward. Good, amazing job, everybody. And we can take our hands down to the ground. I actually like to reach mine a little bit farther in front of me, and then I can pull my hips away from those hands, offering an added back and shoulder stretch. If you'd rather just relax into it, you can take your hands in ragdoll, holding either elbow, or just grab a hold of your legs, touch the floor. But as I say, I like to make this more active, and I pull away from the floor with my hands reaching as far forward as I can get them. I really lift my hips back and up. A good stretch for the back through the shoulders. Slowly walking the hands in. Bend those legs so much. Heel toe the feet back together as we roll all the way up to standing. Oh, and you may just want to take a moment here as we stand, kind of wiggle it out. Getting ready for a couple more balances. We are going to start with tree. So if anyone's balance is just, you've noticed it's just off today, rather than getting really hung up on that, maybe just take yourself next to a wall or a chair or a table, something you can just hold on to. If you're noticing, I know I've spoken on this before, but that you're on something really soft and plush, like grass or a big thick rug, it's harder to balance. You want to be on something really hard and flat, like a strong floor or cement. So as we find the position that we'd like to hold, let's get ourselves back into Tadasana, mountain pose, coming into tree. We'll extend that right leg out to the side, open through the hip, drawing the foot in, whether it's on the floor, the calf, or all the way above the knee into that inner thigh. Taking our hands wherever they need to be. I'm going to take mine up above my head. I'm just holding a prayer pose. Now what I want us to think about is really opening up that right hip, just like we practiced in our warrior series today. All those warrior 2 holds where we're opening across the hips. And then just running straight up and down. So if you imagine a piece of tape running right up the middle of your body, when you're doing this, are you making an S curve, or are you able to hold that piece straight? Whenever you're ready, you can come out of that and fidget, fidget, fidget. We'll repeat that now on the other side. Tall through mountain to begin with. Taking that left leg out to the side, open up through the hip, bringing the foot in, and again, finding the position below or above the knee. Open those hips, and then really tall through the torso. Relax your shoulders. Just take a couple big, deep breaths. Practicing our balance. When else do we have the opportunity to do this? Really paying attention to standing on one leg, working through all of those little muscles and ligaments and tendons, supporting our joints, slowing down our breathing. One final big inhale. And exhale, we can come through the middle and relax. Fantastic. The last balance that we're going to do today is going to be our dancer. I promised a little bit of hip flexor release near the beginning. I was talking about them. So with dancer, we start again in Tadasana. I'll turn to the side just a little bit here. Extending your right leg back behind you. Looking for gum on the bottom of your shoe. We just check it by holding on to the inside of your foot or ankle if you're able to, and then bring that leg back into your body's frame. So the legs are together and we just open that right shoulder. If you're holding a wall, use your left hand to hold that table or wall. Otherwise, reach that arm forward. And then keeping your bellies glued to your spine, let's start to lift that back leg up. And as you lift the leg up, depending on how high it goes, you may have to tip forward slightly. Just remember in dancer, we don't want to bring our head down towards the floor. We want to lift that back foot up, keeping your knees within your body's frame. So not letting your hip turn sideways or open, and trying to keep your chest and your belly button facing the same direction as that left foot. We'll hold this for 2 more breaths. And slowly relax. Oh, I just fidgeted that out. I had a huge stretch up that whole right side of my body. We'll reestablish Tadasana, mountain pose, so we can do our final standing balance. Bring that left foot back behind you, extending that left hip. Checking for gum. We bring that left foot up and then just release the leg back into place. Right arm is forward. Keeping your belly strong. Let's start to push that foot back into the hand. You may start to kick the foot up towards the ceiling. And then if you're able to, keeping your knee pointing back, there may be a little hinging at your hips. Trying to keep your heart center open, crown tall on your head. We never want our crown to fall off the head. Couple breaths here, stretching down that whole left side of your body, working on our balance. One more big inhale. And exhale, slowly release. And fidget, fidget, fidget. All right, everyone, at this point, if you'd like to grab another quick drink of water, you can do that. If you need to change your camera angles, we will be coming down to the floor for the remainder of our practice together, taking a couple of stretches, laying flat on our back. However you need to get down here, I'm going to let everyone do that on your own time. If you happen to feel cold whenever you conclude your yoga practice, it's always nice to have a blanket nearby or some nice wool socks, an extra layer of sweater. So if anyone has that nearby, go ahead and put those items back on, get them ready. And then when you're ready, you'll join me laying down on the floor. And whether you're hugging your knees into your chest or just laying down and relaxing, I'll wait for everyone. Give everybody a second here as we get into our last couple of stretches, which will be a little bit deeper. Taking our feet down to the floor and walking the legs out so that they're straight. We'll be taking ourselves into a supine half lotus. What that fancy name means is when we're sitting crisscross applesauce up at the end of class, we have one foot on top of the other foot. Well, we're going to do that with one leg right now, kind of like an upside down pigeon. So if we were to take our right foot, cross it over that left leg, you may need to help it a little bit. You want the ankle on the thigh above the knee, and then just let that foot kind of fall off. Now, while we're here, what I'd like us to do is just take your hands on your belly, and I want your right knee to just fall open, let gravity take over as we stretch a little bit through that right hip. And with our hands on our belly, I want you to feel your stomach rise with every breath, and then feel your stomach relax. or as you breathe out. Slower breaths, relaxing through your midsection. And slowly we can help that right knee uncross and come down to the floor, and repeat that supine half lotus or upside down pigeon. Now crossing your left ankle over your right thigh. Let that ankle or foot fall over the edge of your leg and just let that left knee fall down towards the ground. Opening across that left hip and through the left leg. Hands are still on our belly as we just take a few really intentional, so on purpose breaths. And we can slowly release that left leg now. Taking our arms out to the side, stretching our hips in the opposite direction with our spinal twist. Inhale, lifting that right knee up. Exhale, lower over to the left. And now keeping our shoulders on the ground, let's look over that right arm. Notice any sensation we're feeling. We may be experiencing a stretch through that right arm, the bicep or the chest. Maybe it's in through that midsection, those obliques, or even just through the back itself. Inhale, lifting the right leg up when you're ready. Exhale, lowering that leg down. Inhale, lift the left knee. And exhale, lowering over to the right. We can keep the shoulders on the ground and look over that left arm. Slow, deep breaths. Notice what you're feeling on this left side. And then lifting that leg back up with your inhale. Exhale, releasing that down. And at this point, I'll invite everyone to find a comfortable position where we'll rest for the remainder of our practice together. Just a few moments. I'm taking Shavasana with my arms down by my sides, my legs straight, my hips open, causing my feet to fall wide. Relaxing our shoulders. Again, our abs are loose, letting our stomach, our chest, our neck rise with each breath. And then feeling everything deflate. Enjoying our final relaxation. Slowly, we'll start to wiggle our fingers and our toes. Roll our ankles and wrists in little circles. Maybe even gather the legs in for one final hug. Feel free to rock side to side if that feels good. Just taking this final moment, laying on our back, noticing how we're feeling. And we can work our way over onto our sides, taking those last couple of breaths, just laying our head on our arm. whenever you're ready, go ahead and just flutter those eyelashes open, readjusting to the light of the room, and gently press ourselves up into that final seated posture. Thank you again, everybody, for such a wonderful practice. I hope you enjoyed it.